I believe. Favorite Bret Hart match. That's what we got to talk about. I'm changing my answer on that super chat. Damn it. BC's changing his answer. I can do that. I'm the host. Let me know when we're fucking live here, YouTube. Come on. BC's yapping away. We don't know if we're live. Oh, here we go. That's me. Playback, check 1, 2. BC, fucking shit up like we do. Red team, gold team, we are the high beam. We are the community, we are the badasses. Whenever you are in doubt, this is where you plant your asses. Amplified channel. Oh, what's up, everybody? I am live. Okay. This is what I do 24. I just talk my own fucking ear off. What's up, everybody? Salute, top of the morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. BC just got a fresh coffee. Running a little bit late, my bad. This is not members only. This is full red team go. I see a lot of gold unit up in this bitch, though. War Dog, what up? I see a lot of gold up in my boy JR9 Gaming. My boy, my right-hand man's up in here. That's awesome. James Shrimp Fajitas up in this bitch. Carlos Ray. Alicia. But this is red team. This is everybody, man. I got a little something special planned Saturday night, hopefully. It's not official, but I would like to be live for the Rumble. That would be members only, gold team only. So I'll let you guys know, man, as we get closer. We're only 96... Playback is good. I'm going to switch to the earbuds if you don't mind. Oh, we're only 96 hours away from the Rumble. Can you guys believe that shit? 96 hours, man. It is coming up quick. But I'd like to be live, man. Members only live stream if you guys want. Everybody can join. I mean, everybody can watch. But the chat will be open. The chat will be open to Gold Team. That's all the green names you see with the gold card. Those are just channel members that take it above and beyond that type of support. So this is going to be everybody. Come on in, man. We're going to rock this Raw review out 30th anniversary. Saturday, I might have something special planned. So that said, before I start this, man, Jay is Jay up in here. Gold member Jay. Just Jay. That's the gold card membership name that I have. He sent a super chat in last night during hour number 1. For those of you that don't know, because YouTube doesn't send out fucking notifications on live streams till afterwards. But we were live for the first hour, commercial-free, Monday Night Raw, hour 1, which was fucking phenomenal, man. Best hour in Monday Night Raw for Raw in years. We're going to go over that real quick, by the way, before we get to the final 2 hours. But that was a live watch-along last night. Jay, my gold member, sent the super chat, and he just asked, what was my favorite Bret Hart match? Now, on the fly, I just went old school, and I just said British Bulldog Bret because it had the best storyline, I felt. I just remember being a kid and just really involved in that with Diana Hart, Smith, and just the whole it was just great, man. But I also mentioned what you guys would probably say, the Stone Cold Bret Hart match, or Shawn Michaels Bret. You can go on a list. I'm changing my answer, though. And I don't know if, let me see, man. I don't think Jay's in here yet. Jay, Jay is up in here. What's up, Jay? So this is for you. I'm changing my answer, bro. I'm actually going to a schmaz match. I'm going to, I believe it was Calgary Stampede in your house. I could be wrong with the event, but they were in Canada. And it was a schmaz match. It was the Hart Foundation, not Jim Anvil and Bret Hart, but the entire Hart family, Hart Foundation, versus like Stone Cold, the Legion of Doom, and somebody else maybe was in on that. It was a schmaz. It was like a 10-man schmaz match, man. And I'll never forget the feeling that I got. That crowd was electric. They were so behind the Hart Foundation and so against Stone Cold. I think Brian Pillman was also in that match with the Hart Foundation, right? Or was he with Stone Cold? I forgot. I think Brian Pillman was actually in that match. It was phenomenal, guys. The crowd was electric. So who would have thought my favorite Bret Hart match, one of them easily would be a schmaz match. But I believe it was Calgary Stampede in your house. So, Jay, I changed my answer, man. That was bugging me. Brian Pillman was with the Hart Foundation for a while. James Shrimp Fajitas, yeah. So I believe he was with them on that night then. That was, Brian Pillman in the Hart Foundation. Man, was that kick-ass. If you guys remember, you know. If you don't know, go back and check it out, dude. So let me recap hour 1 before I get into the review for hour 2 and hour 3 real quick, guys, if I may. Hold on, Cole. Ken Shamrock, LOD, and Goldust with Stone Cold. Thank you. Thank you, Cole, and everybody else for giving BC that info. Yes. I haven't watched it in a minute. It's been years, but that was just, I'll never forget the feeling of that atmosphere, of that 10-man schmaz. And guys, was that definitely Calgary Stampede, by the way? Because I don't want people going to the wrong event. So anyway, in the chat, somebody will clarify for me. I think it was in your house, Calgary Stampede, because I remember everybody coming out of the house and everybody got a separate introduction. And the Hart Foundation, they were just fucking, just that ovation in Canada, because that was at the height of the Canada-American War for Bret Hart and Stone Cold leading the American squad. It was just fucking badass. Anyway, salute. Now, BC was live with you guys last night, man. I didn't know what to expect. Usually when I do these Monday Night Raw live streams, we're disappointed as fuck, right? I mean, there's just no storytelling. There's no character we give a shit about. There's just nothing, man. And by the end of the first hour, I'm like, all right, check you guys, man. See you tomorrow, and we'll go over the last 2 hours. Last night, they were nifty, man. They knew what they had to do. They took the fucking SmackDown stories. They took the Blue Brand, bro. They took the only 2 stories right now in WWE, but they're electric. And that's the Bloodline Sami Zayn story and the Bray Wyatt LA Knight storyline. And what they did is they transferred them from the Blue Brand and they brought them over to the Red Brand, bro. And they literally had the entire first hour commercial free with those 2 storylines. You can't help but laugh, but it worked. I mean, that shouldn't be too much of a shock because SmackDown has been carrying professional wrestling for the longest time. Where WWE cannot produce a character that's larger than life if their life depended on it. They don't have any storylines on the Red Brand, anything that's on the edge of your seat. AEW on Wednesday nights gives you literally banger after banger. You get all the great wrestling. You get no fucking storyline that keeps you on the edge of your seat. There's nothing that is larger than life right now in AEW, sadly. And by the time Friday night hits, you're like fucking, you're comatose to this shit. You're almost in a fucking wrestling coma. But then SmackDown takes you out of it, right? SmackDown snaps their fingers and you come back to life a little bit with those 2 big storylines. So what Raw did last night is Raw said, okay, SmackDown's clearly working, right? They got a nice, steady, fucking consistent line of viewership. They have more viewers most of the time at the end of the show than they start with. Let's just transplant them over to the Red Brand for the first hour commercial-free Raw 30th anniversary. Let's see if that works. Well, guess what? Clear out of the park, Grand Slam status. That ball was hit so far out of the park last night, you ain't gonna get that shit back. That ball's not coming back. So they nailed it out of the park, man. They gave an over 25-minute segment to the Bloodline last night, the trial of Sami Zayn. And when I speak for over 5 years on this channel that I've been creating content, when I speak storylines and people say, oh, basically, you say that and then you get one and you're just not happy. Bullshit. When Dexter Lumis started his shit, I was like, okay, this could work. You guys remember, my tried and trues remember, I was high on that, right? You started something good. Let's keep rocking. A few weeks later, it was fucking done. They didn't know where to go with it. So if you start a story, I'm going to give it proper credit, and then I'm going to give it just due, give it time, see how it unfolds, right? Even if I don't like it at first, I'm going to give it time. Let it play out, BC. Right, where storylines like Dexter Lumis and shit, that just failed, right? They didn't know where they were going, and they started tripping up over their own words and what they were doing. This storyline has been fucking electric almost from day one, if not from day one. So this is what I mean, man. You give storylines over bangers, guys. I understand we live in a generation now, or an era of wrestling, it's weird, where everybody just wants to see bangers in the ring. Just match after match after match of just good wrestling. Guys, that's proven that it doesn't fucking draw. Look at AEW's ratings, how they lose 300,000 people throughout the night, throughout the 2-hour show. Then you look at SmackDown and you see how it stays consistent and goes up. I'm not telling you my opinion. I don't give a fuck about my own opinion. The fact is, bangers alone won't draw. You have to start storylines with characters that we give a fuck about. Then you take us to the pay-per-view where you get bangers. Okay, a good match every show. Okay, put together a 15, 20-minute match if you got it. But shows, Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, AEW Dynamite, they have to be used to build your characters to larger-than-life status, or at least characters we give a fuck about, and storylines that we care about. That's what the shows should be, guys. I don't know where we fell in 2023 into this weird situation where every fucking match has to be a banger. If somebody's on the mic for more than 5 minutes, we cry about it. Too much talking, not enough wrestling. It's a wrestling show. Well, by the time you get to the pay-per-view, how many more bangers can you see? The fuck? We're giving out banger after banger every fucking Wednesday night, every fucking Monday night, sometimes. I don't give a fuck about give me what we saw last night. That was a 25-minute fucking segment, and I swear, I'm not even joking here, guys. You ready for this? BC will take that 25-minute Bloodline guilty or not guilty storyline with Sami Zayn. I will take that 25 minutes over a 25-minute banger on a Monday or Wednesday night. Straight up. I'll take that over a 25-minute wrestling match for no fucking reason on a show. That's not at a pay-per-view with a great storyline behind it. That's the only time I want to see a banger. At a pay-per-view with a great story behind it, or once in a while on a show that has proper storytelling, and you just want to go for the home run pop of a rating. I get it. I totally understand. New channel member, hold on, everything time out. Sean, what up, Sean? Channel membership gold status. Sean, you will be brought into the Saturday night members only stream, brother. Sean, much love and appreciation. Welcome to the gold team. Salute. My point here, guys, is that is what pro wrestling was founded upon. It's what we all fell in love with. You guys maybe forgot that. Some of you, most of my amp unit knows exactly what I'm talking about. But some of you guys may have forgotten that is what we fell in love with pro wrestling for. And in 2023, we just like to use the word banger. We like to show up and say, this is awesome. This is awesome, right? And we don't even realize that we're not building to anything, guys. There's no real larger-than-life characters anymore. There's people that we clap for. Orange Cassidy, yeah. Freshly squeezed. Oh, Bobby Lashley. I like him, right? Drew McIntyre. Darby Allin. Yeah. Dan Garcia. Okay, man. Sheamus. Yes. Who the fuck is getting you catapulting out of your seat like The Rock used to, or Stone Cold, or Taker, or Hogan, or Warrior, or Macho? Like, who's doing that today, man? You know, even when Kurt Angle used to come out, man, that "you suck" chant was earth throttling in your ears if you ever showed up to a live event and you heard, "You suck, you suck." I mean, it was fucking heart pounding. You don't get that anymore. Now you go 2 minutes into a match and you hear all the little kids start it up, right? This is awesome. Right? 2 minutes into a match, it's already awesome to these kids. Then the women pick up, this is awesome. And then a few of the men pick it up because they want to chant, this is awesome. And then there you go. We're off to the races 87 times every single fucking night. But the truth is, nothing is awesome, right? You look at the ratings, you look at how we feel after a show. Nothing is awesome on these wrestling shows. They're pretty bland. Most of them fucking suck. Last night, hour one was truly awesome. You set up a 25-minute fucking storyline angle. Then you go into a match, my type of a fucking banger. It's a tag team match that has a story involved. Jay just saved Sami Zayn, bro. He saved him. He was about to get the Samoan spike by Solo Sikoa. And Jay just stopped the motherfucker, stopped his younger brother, and said, no, this ain't it. This ain't it, bro. And he looked right at Solo. Timeout. Ray Hunt, welcome to the unit, bro. That's a unit pause. Ray Hunt, gold status. Salute. Be great to have you Saturday night for the Rumble. And he looks right at him and he says, this ain't it. And they have a lockdown. I put it up in the thumbnail. You guys can see it, man. They're just looking at Solo's looking at him like, motherfucker, what? The tribal chief just gave me an order. Jay then produces his evidence. And by the end of the fucking segment, Roman says, you're not guilty yet. Yet. Your final test will be Saturday, where we truly believe that whether he helps them or not, he was only being used to get past the obstacle of Kevin Owens. That was it. And then we believe that's going to be it for Sami Zayn and the Bloodline, unfortunately. It's going to be an emotional roller coaster Saturday night if that's the case. But Jay stepped up massively. And then all of a sudden, Jimmy goes down in the tag match. And the same thing that Pierce did for Dominic in Judgment Day last week for Finn Balor when he went out and substituted Dominic in, or they forfeit. Pierce allowed Sami Zayn's request to let him step in. Storyline made beautiful sense. He did it for Dom last week in place of Balor. So this makes fucking sense. This was fucking nearly perfect, guys. How all of the dots connected. How all of the puzzle pieces fit perfectly where they should go. With what seemed like minimal effort. It was just beautiful. By the end of the night, fucking Sami Zayn, by the end of the match, Sami Zayn picks up the fucking W over Dominic. Judgment Day doesn't lose shit from this, guys. We were not talking about how fucking buried or how ruined Judgment Day is. No, they're going to be just fine. This was bigger than that. Jay and Sami hoisting up their fucking titles. The Usos fucking titles at the end of the... fuck, man. And then they cut backstage and Roman is sitting there and he tells Paul, fire up the Jets, whatever. Like, he's not happy. Paul Heyman is pissed. You can tell they're not... The only reason Sami is still there is because the Usos just went to bat for them. It's going to be amazing when they finally turn on Sami. Are the Usos going to be involved in the beatdown? Is this a Roman Sikoa beatdown and the Usos don't follow suit? I don't know, brother. This is fucking... When you have so many questions and you're actually intrigued, you just got an awesome fucking storyline. This is awesome! Awesome is when you get an awesome storyline, and then you go to the pay-per-view and you gladly hand over your fucking money because you want to see that shit. That amplified unit, that's a fucking storyline. That's a fucking banger. That's awesome in pro wrestling. That's what we need more of, storylines. And then they fucking went right into LA Knight Bray Wyatt. They knew what they were doing. Raw is hurting. They have no storylines. They have no larger-than-life characters, guys. Bobby Lashley and of such should have been, probably, but they didn't book them as such. So they're just frolicking in the mid-card. They have no larger-than-life characters. So what they did is they transplanted the fucking Blue Brand's biggest storyline with Sami Zayn and Roman in the Bloodline, and then they immediately went to LA Knight Bray Wyatt. I was live with my fucking amplified unit during the first hour, and I was fucking like, are they going Bray LA? They're fucking going Bray LA back-to-back with Roman's Bloodline, Sami Zayn storyline. I was fucking shocked. We were live. LA Knight's in the ring. He's talking that trash. If anybody wants to come out, and I'll show you exactly what I'm going to do in the pitch black match Saturday night against Bray. And Undertaker took him up on it, bro. Undertaker, the fucking gongs hit, and all of a sudden the American Badass theme rolls on. You see the front tire of the motorcycle, and here comes the American Badass, the Undertaker. LA Knight talks that shit. He goes to go up that aisle, and all of a sudden Bray Wyatt's theme hits. Bray Wyatt's there with the lantern. Now, at this point, LA Knight has a conundrum. He's in a bit of a pickle, right? If he goes left, he's got the Undertaker to deal with. If he goes right, he's got to deal with Bray motherfucking Wyatt. He chooses to run away from Wyatt. Clearly, Wyatt scares him more. He goes into the ring, into the clutches of an Undertaker chokeslam. Bray gets in the ring. Taker chucks him to Bray. There was a moment where they looked at each other, and Bray's like, I want the motherfucker. Undertaker allows Bray, chucks him over, and LA Knight gets Sister Abigail'd. Bray does not lose focus of Undertaker, locks his eyes on him. Taker and him have a stare down as the crowd, Philadelphia, mind you, chants, holy shit, holy shit. You know, one of the only people that constantly gets holy shit chants is Bray Wyatt. And if you go on social or you're listening to fucking some dumb fucks in the community, they'll tell you how he doesn't draw, he doesn't move a needle, this, that, and the other thing, when he absolutely is the only person, at least especially when he was Red Brand, that moves a needle in the right direction, upwards. He was the only one that moves the metrics in the right direction. But you listen to the fucking, you watch the crowd react to Bray, and whether you like him or not, it's like Sasha Banks, whether you like them or not, doesn't even matter. They're fucking epic at this point. It doesn't even matter our opinions. I love fucking Bray Wyatt. Wouldn't even matter my opinion. The dude is fucking epic. Listen to the fucking responses that Bray Wyatt gets. Fucking mind-bogglingly awesome. Holy shit. As Wyatt and Undertaker are staring each other down, Taker goes over to Wyatt, whispers in his ear for about 7 seconds, and I doubt it was sweet nothings, even though Valentine's Day is coming up. I doubt Undertaker was looking for a date. Undertaker has fucking his beautiful wife, Michelle McCool, and Bray Wyatt has one of the most beautiful females in the world, JoJo, that he's about to marry later this year. They don't need to date each other. No. Undertaker was probably passing the fucking torch properly. This was the Undertaker giving that respect to Bray Wyatt. If you guys don't know, behind the scenes in many interviews, Undertaker speaks more positively about Bray Wyatt than anybody else in pro wrestling today. And Undertaker doesn't have a lot of great things to say about the wrestlers today. He does think they're soft. He does think the locker room is not for him anymore. The video games and all of that's a little bit too much. There's a place for it, but then there's a time to put the games away and let's really talk about how we can elevate our characters and give a fuck about our booking. And he says he doesn't see that a lot anymore. But in Bray Wyatt, he sees just epic genius. So in real life, Mark Calloway, the guy behind the American Badass Undertaker, he has such respect for Bray that I think this is what Undertaker wanted to do. He wanted to be in that ring with Bray, and he wanted to whisper something, man. We'll never know, maybe. But he passed that torch to Bray Wyatt, and just respect. Now, some people think Taker obviously has a match left. We know that. He can just go in there for fucking 10 minutes and just perform his fucking moves of doom. I mean, are they setting up a Saudi? I don't think it would be Mania, because what would the story be there, man? We already saw that before at Mania, I believe, anyway. There looked to be a sign of mutual respect. Could it be a Saudi payday? Bray gets $1 million. Undertaker gets $1 million. Maybe Taker was saying, I'd like to have my real final match with you. And maybe they go for a fucking massive payout in Saudi Arabia, where the big stars like Undertaker and such get $1 million. This could be a matchup, guys, for all we know. Again, I don't think it would be Mania. I think it would be more Saudi. But if not, if this wasn't for a match, we'll never know what it was, and it was probably just to pass the torch. And that was the first hour. I mean, fucking, what the fuck, bro? I mean, that was easily, I can say this, because I don't remember a better hour. In the recent memory, the recent several years, 3, 4, maybe even 5 years of Monday Night Raw, that first hour last night was one of my favorite first hours in years, guys. And usually, a lot of times, I'm live with you guys during the first hour of Raw, and I'm just mind-boggled at the stupidity of the booking. I just don't understand where they're going. They don't know where they're going. It doesn't set it up good for the rest of the show. Last night, they used everything that was in the fucking chamber on that first hour. I know, I totally get it. It's laughable that they had to take the Blue Brand storylines because Raw has none. 3 hours. They don't have a good storyline. I believe they're trying to do that with Becky and Bayley. Last night was supposed to be a steel cage match. They nixed it to up a storyline. You could tell that they really pumped over Damage Control on the beatdown, the annihilation of Becky. But this only works. I'm okay if you want to do it at a pay-per-view or later on. I don't understand why they were even in a steel cage match. Why not have a storyline? So this only works if you're actually going to put a real story that we can get invested into. If this is just every week they do a beatdown or they talk some smack, then you just promoted a steel cage match and you just had a beatdown? I don't know, brother. That doesn't seem right. So you either put a real storyline to this and I'll be okay with it, or you just fucking had Philadelphia like, what the fuck just happened, bro? This was a steel cage match. Becky just gets annihilated before we never even got the match. Maybe that's a story. Maybe the Red brand finally realizes they need stories, man. Desperately. SmackDown is beating the shit out of Monday Night Raw. Some of you guys may not want to hear that. I get it. But truthfully, I follow numbers, guys, statistics, metrics. And I'm not even joking when I say this. Literally, SmackDown, the blue brand, is beating the shit out of Monday Night Raw. And I wish that wasn't the case because we need better. Starting yesterday, a year ago, 5 years ago on Raw, 10 years ago. But the blue brand is just whooping that ass. And so what they did last night is they started that show off with the blue brand's feuds. That whole first hour was the funnest hour I've seen on Monday Night Raw in years. So, that's my cold open, guys. Usually when I do these live streams on the first hour, like I did last night, usually I don't spend a lot of time the next day on it. I just go over the last 2 hours. But that needed to be rediscussed because that was so much fun. And I tell you guys, every show it seems that they just don't seem fun anymore. I watch 3 hours every Monday and it's just not fun. By the end of the show, I'm fucking tired. I'm probably fucking miserable that we just wasted 3 hours on that shit. And last night after the first hour, it was actually fun. Like, I just remembered everything of why I loved pro wrestling to begin with. Fucking loved it. So, even though they brought over the transplant SmackDown feuds onto Raw last night, listen, it was pulled off so beautifully. Now, the question is, how was the next 2 hours? Chris, I appreciate that. I know, right? Probably the only one in the community that can do a half an hour cold open. Half an hour into the show, and we're just getting into the fucking review of the last 2 hours. The question now is, how did those 2 hours go? How was the final 2 hours? Could they live up to the first hour? Man, Philly was kind of losing steam as the rest of the show went on because it's like starting with the Super Bowl and ending with a preseason game. It's like starting with the Daytona 500 and ending with preliminary February races, right? Like the first race of the season. You end with the first race, but you start with the Daytona 500. You start with a Super Bowl, you end with a preseason game. You start with fucking Def Leppard, and you finish, the main attraction is the local indie band from around the block. The fuck is Def Leppard starting for the indie band? All right, you started so big, so huge. How the fuck are you going to match hour one, bro? That shit ain't going to happen. Did they at least try? Did they go all out in the last 2 hours? BC's going to answer all these questions right now. Not my opinion. I got the facts, and we're going to talk about it right now. Before I get into the final 2 hours, I see my chat up in here, man. What's up, everybody? Anthony, Santivia, Redhead Kingpin's up in here, Cole. D-Money's up in here, JJ, Pile Driver, JR9, as I said. Buggy's up in here. Eric Newton's up in this bitch. I know I got some supers, too, like Eric Newton just sent in. I'm going to get to those in a little bit. Appreciate that. RD's up. RD, I'll get to that super chat coming up, man. Renee G's up in here. Julia's up in here. Julia. Wes Niles up in this bitch. What's up, everybody? So, let's do this. Hour number 2 starts with Damage Control shattering Becky Lynch, nullifying their steel cage match. And now a part of me is like, damn, I don't know how that's going to go over in Philly, bro. You just advertised a cage match. And then it ain't happening. I thought maybe they're going to try it again later in the night. They had the cage set up and everything. It was just for a beatdown. Maybe they did something after Raw went off the air. I didn't get a chance to look at the notes. I had a lot of business to do. But possibly. But this was just a beat. Now the other half of BC was like, all right. I like it, man. I like it because there's no reason this should have been a match. You build a storyline to it. Why is Becky and Bayley rushing into a fucking cage match? What does Becky have for Mania, guys? Jer9, anybody? You guys, I didn't hear any of the rumor mill. I don't know what the dirt sheets are saying. I trust my sources, and then I go to dirt sheets to see what they're saying, and then I just get all my facts together, see who's more right than wrong. Guys, what's the Becky Lynch WrestleMania plans, bro? What is Bayley's WrestleMania plans? Jer9, I'm hearing Rhea Ripley, but wouldn't Rhea be more better for like Bianca Belair maybe? And what about Bayley, by the way? My point is, like, why would Becky even be in a title picture for Mania? There's no point. There's no purpose. Why not have an awesome feud with Bayley and Becky? Like, why are we rushing them into a steel cage match on a Monday Night Raw? Maybe they realize that and they want to prolong it. And I'm okay with that because you can build. You should be building stories that have nothing to do with a title. You should be doing that. One of my favorites of all time is the Big Boss Man. I tell you guys a million times on this channel. I'll say it a million times more. Most, if not all, of the Big Boss Man feuds back in the day had nothing to do with a championship. And they were some of the best stories I ever remember, man. Him and Mountie, him and Nails, you name it. Big Boss Man was the shit. There's no reason that you have to fucking be doing that. Thank you guys, too, for the 150. I totally forgot to even mention that in the cold open. Smash that up for BC. The tube does not like to notify when we're live for some reason, so they only notify when we are not live anymore. Then the algorithm kicks in, and then everybody tunes into BC when I'm not live. So you guys can at least help the algorithm afterwards. Smash that up. I really do appreciate that. But my point is, with Bayley and Becky, if you have nothing anyway, which you don't, build a fucking story. I'm okay with it, but make it a storyline. I don't want to see just Damage Control beating up Becky, or Becky finding a tag team partner or two others and beating up Damage Control, or having Becky Lynch versus EO one week and Becky versus Dakota. We've done that. We played it out. Make it a real storyline. I'm so glad that we're talking storylines now. The past several weeks, I've seen a little bit of a shift in the wrestling community. Have you guys noticed? Thanks to the Bloodline and Sami Zayn and Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. The wrestling community is starting to talk about storylines more. I'm not saying that's because of BC, but maybe a part. Maybe I'm just a fucking spoke on the wheel that's helping this fucking vehicle move along in the right direction, which is what I hope I'm doing. I hope that we are doing, Amp Unit. But we're starting to talk about storylines more. Let's get away from bangers. We shouldn't even be using that fucking word. Fuck the bangers. Pay-per-views, then we can use the word bangers. For these shows, let's talk storylines. Deal? So I know a lot of people are hurt because we didn't get a cage match last night. But guess what? Maybe there's light at the end of the tunnel. Let's try to produce a real storyline with Bayley and Becky. I'm willing to give this a chance. Don't fuck us over, 3Hs or VKM, whoever's running this shit. But I'm starting to see the community start to talk about storylines more. I love this shit. Let's do more of that. So, that's the cage match situation. It looks like they are going to prolong this. Are they going to try to rush this into a Rumble match, maybe? Are they going to just use this for a Rumble feud within the Rumble match? So it's another special moment when they look face to face? Or are they going to let this go until fucking Mania? Or is this going to be a big match at Elimination Chamber in February? Or is this going to be a fucking match next week on Raw and it was all for nothing and you advertised a cage match and you said, fuck you, Philly, and 7 days later we got it anyway? BC asks 100 questions because we got to. Nobody else is going to fucking do this in the community like this, man. We got to ask these questions because this is what the suits and ties in Stanford today have to be asking themselves. You got to know what you're doing, guys. We're 96 hours away from the Royal Rumble. Up next, after Damage Control shatters Becky Lynch, nullifying their steel cage match, DX hits the ring with Kurt Angle. They're all doing their shtick. Imperium, led by Gunther, hits the ring. Gunther challenges any one of DX to a fight. This is where it gets funny, man. 3Hs gets right into the face of Gunther. Three H's then thinks better and says, I'm retired. I'm out. I'm not fighting this dude. I'm retired. I'm out. Then you have HBK who looks at him, and HBK looks at Gunther and says, I'm too old for this. I ain't fighting him. X-Pac says he's got shin splints and some other injuries. He ain't fighting him. Road Dogg doesn't even try to make an excuse. Road Dogg just says, I ain't fighting this dude. So then DX gets in a group huddle. Now, like old times, Kurt Angle is not allowed to be in the DX huddle. So DX gets into a huddle. They go break. They exit the huddle, and they came up to a team decision. Kurt will fight you. Kurt Angle immediately is like, nope, no, that's not happening. No, that's not what I said. I am not fighting Gunther. And DX is like, what? We came up with a fucking master plan. Kurt is like, no, I will not be fighting this motherfucker. So now they go into the corner. H is fucking brilliant here, but H is like, all right, everyone calm down. It looks like we are in a pickle right now. We have ourselves a conundrum. We're all too old. We're not fighting you. We are in a pickle right now. It looks like we're at a crossroads. This was just hilarious, man. So they're all fucking right. If they're like, I think they said something like, if only we had somebody that would fucking step up to Gunther. Seth Rollins comes down, man. His music hits. Now this is where it gets even fucking funnier. DX is singing there. You got to go back and watch it, man. Triple H is, I don't even know what he's trying to dance to fucking Seth's music. HBK doesn't even know where he is anymore, the poor fucking guy. He just wants to go back to the Performance Center and help out his fucking NXT kids. This guy, Shawn Michaels is like, he's looking all around. He can't even see underneath his cowboy hat. I love the dude, though, man. It's just hilarious. Road Dogg and X-Pac are trying to figure out the lyrics to Seth Rollins' song. Little do they realize, it's just, X-Pac could not be more off tune. It was just hilarious. They're singing it, the music cuts, and they're still fucking singing the song. I mean, BC is just like, man, you got it. This is actually funny, bro. Like, just give me 20 minutes of this, and let me just laugh my ass off here in the second hour. So then 3H says, okay, we're in a pickle here. We got Rollins in here. HBK is the one, actually. HBK says, well, because Street Profits came down too. That's what happened. Right after Rollins, Street Profits came down. So now you have these six dudes. HBK says, well, okay, you have three of them. You have three of them. What do we do now? Triple H says, well, why does everyone look at me? This booking thing is not easy. Everybody looks at me to book. It's not easy. Everybody thinks I just snap my fingers and boom, I got a match. That was fucking hilarious. You pull back the curtain a little bit, man. Triple H says, why does everyone look at me? This booking thing isn't easy. I fucking popped at that, bro. That was actually pretty good. Triple H says, if only we had somebody to make sense of all of this. Holla, 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 playa. Teddy Long hits the top of the ramp. And we get a Teddy Long classic 6-man schmaz match. HBK then says, if only we had someone who could keep control of all this chaos, like a special referee or something. We go into another DX huddle. Kurt Angle is excluded, of course. Angle is like, guys. DX is like, shut up. Kurt Angle's like, guys, I'm trying to tell you something. Will you please? Kurt Angle is a fucking mastermind. Guys, I gotta salute Kurt Angle. This is why we used to love the dude back in the day. Not just because he's a great wrestler. He is so great comedically, guys. Kurt Angle plays like the little brother who can't get in on the older brother activities. He used to do it perfectly back in the day with Stone Cold and so many others. Guys, as DX is in this older brother type meeting, Kurt Angle's like, guys, let me in. Guys, I'm trying to tell you something. Finally, DX is like, what? And he pulls over another shirt. Now, originally, he took off the original shirt and he was showing a DX shirt. Now he takes off his second shirt and he's got a referee shirt on. And they're like, well, Michaels is like, that's the solution to our problems. He can control the chaos. Bro. Unit. What the fuck did we just watch? That was fun, man. I say, how many weeks, how many months, how many years have I been saying Monday Night Raw is just not fun? They lost the fun meter. Monday Night Raw Mondays is just not fun anymore. Last night, at least up until the first hour and a half, it was fun, bro. Like, there was things I was interested in. There was things I can't wait to see how it unfolds. There was shit that just literally made me laugh that didn't involve R-Truth dressed up as a Christmas tree being chased by Ninja Tozawa. It was genuine laughter. It was genuinely funny. It was just... It was all the things I used to love Raw, man, and I just miss, you know? And I just wish we did more of this every single Monday night. It's a 3-hour show. There's no reason why we shouldn't have just so much fun on Monday nights. It's amazing. You see what we got last night, up until the first hour and a half anyway. And you're just kind of like, where the fuck was this, man? Where was this for the last year, 5 years, nearly 10 years? This was fun. Just fun. Even if you're like, oh, I don't like this. I prefer a 25-minute banger, BC. Just give me the wrestling action for 25 minutes. Well, that's in the eye of the beholder. That's fine. For BC, and I know so many, man, this is the shit that we just love. This is the shit that we miss. Fucking beautifully done, man. It was so funny, guys. So much fun. Jerry Lawler was a special guest on commentary for this 6-man match, by the way. Lawler says, Corey, good to see you, and who are you to Kevin Patrick? More genuine LOL moments for BC, bro. Literally looked at Kevin Patrick. This was old school Jerry Lawler. And who are you, Kevin Patrick? And then, guys, I'm not even joking, man. Lawler starts to rip KP. Lawler ripped Kevin Patrick for the rest of this fucking match on commentary. Even asked Graves, Jerry Lawler asked Corey Graves if he actually even thinks Kevin Patrick is going to make Raw 31. Because he's so fucking bad. He started fucking making fun of the way he does his fucking tease and says some of the words. I mean, then Corey Graves started making fun of fucking Kevin Patrick. Bro, Jerry Lawler woke up, chose fucking violence. Jerry Lawler woke up and he went into this shit. Lawler showed up giving 0 fucks. He's like, they ain't gonna bring me back for another year or two anyway, tops, to call a fucking middle of Raw match. I might as well go fucking just barreling, man, trailblazing. I might as well give some shades of old school Jerry Lawler. Just fucking, yeah, guys. It's pretty evident that Kevin Patrick is just not good. I didn't mind him at all as an interviewer, guys. Backstage, I thought he was perfect. In fact, I liked his style, everything. And then they did the shakeup, and I don't understand how Kevin Patrick was their first choice and how he lasted this fucking long. He's just not good at the job, guys. There's no other way to say it. And I'm not saying fire him or make him lose his job. No way. Bring him back to what he was good at. Give him a raise. Give the man more money. I don't give a fuck. But he's just not good at this commentary thing. He's just not good. There's no way that anybody should call this their era. Like back in my day, my era was Gorilla Monsoon into the Bobby the Brain Heenans, the Jerry Lawlers, and the Jim Rosses. Even Michael Cole, even though we bashed the motherfucker, he's just really good at what he does, man. So, is he as epic as Ross and all them? Of course not. Gorilla Monsoon, but good at his job at least. Kevin Patrick is going to be this generation's, that's the soundtrack, guys. Kevin Patrick's commentary is the soundtrack to the next several years of world wrestling entertainment. It doesn't feel right, bro. It's not good. He is not good. Yeah, it's not accent. Oh, who said that? Andy I love the accent. It's not about the accent, though. That's fine. I used to fucking... Lord Alfred Hayes. Does anybody remember Lord Alfred Hayes? Any older unit members? Older, not old. Alfred Hayes was one of my favorites. Lord Alfred Hayes for Coliseum Home Video. He was the best. It's the fact that you just suck. I'll take the fucking accent. Bring it. You suck. That's the problem, man. So to see Jerry Lawler just come out and just be like, let's not fuck around with our audience, right? I'm not going to be welcomed back for a long time anyway. Fuck it. So Jerry Lawler literally says, Corey, do you really think this Kevin guy is really going to make Raw 31? It was fucking awesome, bro. I'm like, this dude did not just say that. Tell me he didn't just say that. Anyway, guys, this six-man schmaz ended with a stomp on Vinci. Rollins gets the pin over Vinci, and Street Profits Rollins win this match. No harm, no foul. Six-man schmaz. I was more interested in Jerry Lawler's commentary bashing Patrick. I was still laughing at the DX segment. Oh, Sean, new unit member. Gold status Sean. Do you remember that? Up in the chat, you see Sean, Monsoon to Heenan. Will you stop it? That was a thing that Gorilla used to say to Bobby Heenan all the fucking time. Because Bobby Heenan would act like he didn't see what the heel just did. And he would act like the good guy deserved to get fucking whatever heelish tactic was done. So Gorilla Monsoon would be like, oh, Bob, will you stop it? Bobby Heenan's like, what? What do you want, Gorilla? I lost a contact. I didn't see what happened. I didn't see any nightstick come into play. This is commentary, guys. This is shit that lasts a lifetime, right? I don't care if it's fucking Todd Pettengill. Does anybody remember Todd Pettengill? But Kevin Patrick just doesn't work. And it's really hurting the telecast. It really does, guys. And have him for 3 fucking hours? Fuck, man. It's a bit much, guys. It's absolutely a bit much. Maybe if you want to have him for a match or two, that's fine. We can put Kevin Patrick on for a match, guys. Have Kevin Patrick do a couple of matches. I don't know why you ever split up Byron Saxton and Corey Graves, by the way. That was just a perfect team. It was like a brothership. It was like Corey Graves and Byron Saxton. Byron Saxton were just brothers, man. I mean, that's how well they work together. I don't know why you would split that up. Or if you're going to then have Byron with them, make it a 3-man booth if you have to. Anyway, that was more important to BC than the match itself. But Rollins picks up a little W, get him some screen time with the Street Profits. The end of hour 2 was backstage. JBL and Boring Corbin win the big poker game that was going on. IRS reminds them all to pay their taxes, and he takes all the fucking money that Boring and JBL just won, and he leaves them a $100 bill. $1 Million Man Teddy DiBiase walks up, delivers his catchphrase. Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man. Gives that laugh, walks off. No harm, no foul, guys. This could have been one of those anniversary or legends parties that drags on the whole night, and it's taking up time, and it's just the same old shit. Yes, it was the same old shit, but they got it done pretty quickly. We only went back there like 3 times. And after IRS took all the fucking money, that was pretty much it. That was basically the last time we went back to the fucking poker game. And I like one of the segments when Ron Simmons came out. I think it was hour 1, led to the just fun hour 1, because I think I was live for that. Ron Simmons comes out because Godfather didn't have JBL and Boring on the list. So Ron Simmons comes out, gets paid a lot of money from JBL and Boring, lets them through the door, which is just a door, no walls, no nothing. So they walk through and the cameraman just goes to the side of the door. It's just a fucking door. They used to have that back in the day with the APA. So, I mean, these segments were actually, they were okay. I got to see DDP, Alundra Blaze was up in that bitch. I feel bad for the OC, Mia Yim, Munchkin, whatever you're calling her these days. I feel bad for them because they were just placed at tables way in the back and they just had to cheer when they got their cue. So it sucks for talents like that. But for the most part, no harm, no foul. JR9, Gargano was in there too. Oh, I feel so bad for that. I didn't even get to see everybody back there, man. I know at one point Gable and Otis were at a poker table. Who else was in that segment? Did anybody else see any fucking Easter eggs? Because that's one of those things you literally have to go up to Vince McMahon or 3H's, whoever's running the show last night. We don't even fucking know anymore. It's a clusterfuck in that company. You go up to him and you say, can you please not utilize me in this? Can I please? Like, this is the one time you would ask not to be in a fucking segment. Loomis was not Chris. Was Loomis in there? Loomis is just playing poker. How far we have fallen off with Loomis. Wow. Candice LeRae. Yeah, I mean, if Gargano was in it, I would think LeRae would be in it too. Now listen, imagine if you saw Brock Lesnar just at a poker table 3 tables back. That would be fucking hysterical and so tragic. Actually, we got to talk about Brock when we get to the 3rd hour, man. That was pretty big and a massive botch by WWE. We'll get to that in a minute. Mia Yim, yeah, she was with the OC. Carl Anderson is just cheering at anything. Carl Anderson just was having fun with it. He wasn't even looking at what he should have been. Carl Anderson was just like cheering at the wall just to fuck around, see if anybody noticed. You gotta be careful, though. Vince McMahon's always noticing that shit. He'll fucking fire your ass. Do you guys remember when Vince McMahon was in a segment? Was this when his limo got blown up, by the way? But he was walking back and everybody was in the backstage and everybody was like, had their hands in front of them like it was a funeral, and Vince McMahon was walking through them. And, what was his name? Somebody smiled. And he got fired thereafter. I mean, it was supposed to be a serious moment. And somebody just, JR9, bro. Salute to JR9 Gaming, bro. Paul London. That was going to bother me. JR9, man, thank you, man. Eric, yeah, thank you, guys. Because that was slipping my mind. That was going to bother me the rest of the... Paul London. This was supposed to be a serious moment. Vince McMahon's walk. This fucking moron. I'm kidding you. I was watching live. I was much younger, and I noticed. I was like, uh-oh, that ain't good. Why is that fucking idiot smiling? Paul London is fucking laughing, guys. Paul London is laughing. Dude was fired, canned not too long after. Put in the doghouse and then canned. I mean, Vince does not. When you don't follow the fuck... So listen, I don't know. Carl Anderson could get a little bit of punishment there. I remember Titus O'Neil got punished once, man. The McMahons and Titus O'Neil, I think everybody was up on the stage. And maybe it was a tribute for one of our fallen superstars. And everybody was, after the tribute, everybody was going to the back. Vince McMahon, Stephanie, everybody was going last. Vince was about to go, Stephanie behind him. Titus O'Neil pulled the fucking arm of McMahon back and is like, let Steph go, ladies first. And Stephanie went, then Vince. And bro, when I was watching that live, I was like, damn, you don't pull the fucking boss like your BFFs. Titus O'Neil was in the doghouse from that moment after. I'll never forget that, man. He was, like, that first month after, he was fucked, bro. Yeah. Malik, I think there was, like, a suspension or some shit. I think Titus did. It was something big. If it wasn't a suspension, it was we heard behind the scenes, reputable guys. Like, real reports. My own people confirmed that shit immediately, that Titus was in a doghouse. And I didn't even have to be told why. When I saw it, I was like, you do not pull Vince live in front of the crowd. National TV. Pull him back, bro. You can't do that shit. JR9's on it, man. 60 to 90 day suspension, I think it was what it was. You can't do that, bro. Even if you think you're good friends with the boss and he loves what you're doing for communities because Titus is a big asset to WWE, you cannot yank the boss back. Paul, I don't know how we're getting off track here, but little things like that, Vince will not forget, bro. So hopefully Carl Anderson is fine. But that's how we ended hour number 2, guys. The poker game, boring Corbin wins it all, but IRS makes sure that, just like in real life, the Internal Revenue Services, they take all your fucking cash. Now we go into hour number 3, unit. Salute. And thank you to the unit too, man. I know I got a lot of questions for my chat, man, because we're live. I got questions. I'm going to my chat for a lot of answers. You guys are being rock stars, dude. You're making this fucking live stream fucking go off without a hitch because you guys are right there with the answers, starting with JR9 Gaming and so many others, man. It just makes it so much better for BC. Because that Paul London shit would have pissed me off, man. I could not think of the name. Hour 3, they used the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, to soften up Philly before introducing Charlie Flair. Now, this makes zero sense storyline-wise because more than once, Charlotte has kicked her father to the curb because she doesn't want to be associated with him anymore. She's trailblazing her own path, right? So here we are in Philadelphia. When they said Charlotte is coming up next, I said, are you ballsy? They're going to boo her out of the fucking arena. Philly don't fuck around like Tampa Bay did or Memphis. Philly's going to boo her out of the arena. And then they brought out fucking legendary Nature Boy Ric Flair. I was like, are you kidding me, bro? But you got to try, right? You can't fucking diss him for that shit, man. They knew it was going to be a hard reception. Let's bring out Ric Flair. Let's twist him a little. Let's get 50% of Philly kind of wondering what they should do. Should we fucking boo her? Should we cheer her? Who the fuck knows what we should do, bro? So that was, they used Ric Flair for that shit. I thought that was kind of funny. Oh, fucking H. Pull on the fucking heartstrings of Philly, man. Ric Flair going out there, too, looking like he was a dandelion. You see this motherfucker? Like you could pick him from a fucking flower garden. I don't know what he was wearing, but he was trying to drip. And, hey, it's Ric Flair. He can do what he wants. This motherfucker has ridden Space Mountain more times than Mickey Mouse. So, Charlotte's in the fucking ring. She says she stands before us, the SmackDown Women's Champion. But she'll always be the Raw Women's Champion. This brings out the EST Bianca Belair. Belair says, I respect the crown that you wear, and you wear it good. Just not here, because I go here now. Thought that was brilliant, by the way. Really, really good delivery. Sonya Deville then hits the ramp, talking shit to both Belair and Charlie. And this somehow sets up Belair versus Sonya Deville. Philly was lost. And I really feel that this was the first time in the night where Philly was really just lost, you know, like, okay, this is... Like, they even forgave the fucking Bayley and Becky Lynch shit, right? And because then you went into the DX and we all had a good time with that. You saw a pretty decent six-man schmoz. Okay. This was the first time where we go, what the fuck are we doing here? Right? Like, that's how we set up Sonya and Belair. It was just like Philly was off, and that kind of you kind of felt that at home too, or wherever you were viewing. So that was the first little off. Match was fucking decent though, for what it was. KOD obviously was going to end this thing from the beginning, and that's exactly what happened. It should be no other way. KOD is hit. Sonya is defeated by the EST. Belair then cuts a promo on Alexa Bliss post-match. And Sonya had Belair blown up, bro. I have not seen Bianca Belair that blown up in a match in a long time. And it wasn't even that long of a match. But Belair was trying to cut a promo, and every other word was like fucking just wait. She couldn't even make it out. It was kind of fucking crazy. Alexa Bliss then appears on the Tron and delivers a piercing rebuttal. You guys ready for this? And I quote, I don't need it. Alexa Bliss is saying this to Bianca. I don't need anyone to help me tear your face off, but don't worry. I'll spare your eyes so you can see me walk off the new Raw Women's Champion. Damn! That sounds like a line delivered by Bray Wyatt. And we know Alexa Bliss has said in the past that she takes a lot of creativity from Bray and a lot of his advice. That sounds like something that would have came from Bray Wyatt, right? I don't need anybody to tear your face off, but don't worry. I'll leave your eyes so you can see me walk out Raw Women's Champion. I just thought that was fucking beautiful, man. I mean, you don't hear lines like that on Monday Night Raw often. If you do, it's usually something tied with like a Bray Wyatt or some shit. Just beautifully done, bro. Looking forward to seeing what they do with Alexa and Bianca. You gotta believe that Bianca doesn't drop the title just 2 months before WrestleMania. But how do you play out Alexa walking away without the title? This just got interesting. And after Saturday Night Royal Rumble, after the Rumble goes off the air, Are we going to see a direct link between Bray and Alexa finally? There's a lot of questions. BC's actually interested in so much of this shit. And what's cool about this storyline for BC, and for others in the AMP unit that love this storyline as well, it's twofold. It's Bray, LA Knight, yes, but it's also, it leaks into Alexa Bliss and Bianca and what happens with their match. So it's a twofold, double-edged storyline. Love this shit, bro. Pretty cool. Then we go into Miz. Miz hits the ring. Miz is pissed off that he wasn't offered a Miz TV segment for Raw 30. KO hits the ring through the crowd. Kevin Owens hits a stunner, drops a great promo on Roman, and how he may have said that Sami is not guilty for his sins, but you, Roman Reigns, you are guilty of holding the WWE Universal Championship hostage for 2 years. And he promises every single fan in attendance and at home, he promises that he will do everything in his power to make sure that reign ends Saturday night. Now, you guys know that cannot fucking happen 2 months before Mania. But for him to guarantee that he is going to do everything in his power to do such, or he's going to die trying, those were his words, that just made things a lot more interesting. It raised the stakes a lot. At the end of this promo, the Miz started to make his way back to his feet. So Owens promptly laid him back onto the canvas with a second stunner. Kind of fucking funny, man. Miz oversold it, but it was still funny, man. The poor guy finally got to his feet. Owens is like, sit the fuck down. And that ended Miz TV. And that sent us into our main event. Let me give a salute to my unit first, and then we'll go into the main event. This was a U.S. title match. Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory. Now, we've seen this 67 times in 2022. Same fucking match. So they had to up the ante. You know, they finally listened to BC, and they're like, well, he is right, man. For a lot of people, like the BCs in the community, they're not going to be intrigued by this fucking match. Austin Theory, this whole reset just didn't work, right? I think we all can agree now it did not work. Here we are 2 months later, a little more, and it's the same crowd reaction. It's the same lack of interest. Corey Graves actually had to mention it on commentary. Now, you guys remember after the huge Money in the Bank briefcase cash-in botch, after that, Corey Graves tried to sell like this was the best decision in the world. Last night, Corey Graves actually was like, you know, it's a shame. And he feels it that people still do not give him the credit he deserves, and people still treat him like a kid. For Corey Graves to say that, it's evident that that's the general consensus in WWE. It's the same fucking reaction. It's the same fucking theory. He just put the cell phone down, and he's a little bit more temper tantrum meaner. Same guy, man. Same lack of interest. You could have done this without damaging the Money in the Bank concept. You could have gotten to this way better than what we did. So you have the fact that nobody cares about Theory still, sadly. You have the fact that you have botched Bobby Lashley's booking since he's gotten back to WWE, with the exception of 9 good months in the Hurt Business, and that was it. Then you dismantled that stupidly, and now you're teasing it, and what? We're going to get a fucking shell of what it once was? And then you put a match that we've seen 67 times over the last 6 months. Of course, this was a main event that was not really going to hit home with a lot of fans. So they upped the ante a little bit, guys, and they put a no DQ concept into this matchup. No DQ rules. Now, when this was all said and done, Brock Lesnar, his music hits, Philadelphia, big pop. They were not expecting Brock. In fact, hours before, Raw, Sap, and Fightful, I believe, broke a story, or somebody did, and maybe they regurgitated the story, that Brock, they wanted Brock, but they could not land him, and WWE officials were kind of bummed out. So everyone was like, oh, Brock's definitely not there. And all of a sudden, JK, there's Brock. End of the night, Brock Lesnar shows up. F5 on Lashley, then an F5 to Theory right on top of Lashley. So Theory scores the W pinfall over Lashley. Brock looks at the hard cam. Corey Graves is mid-sentence, and we go off the air. Huge WWE timing botch. Unacceptable. I always say this, especially on a Monday Night Raw. 3-hour show. How the fuck do you run out of time? How do you run out of time on a 3-hour show, bro? You gotta have better time management. You've been on the air 30 years for this show. Corey Graves is mid-sentence. Brock didn't even give his fucking beast stance yet, and we just cut to the fucking next show. You can't do that, guys. It left a little bit more to be desired, to say the least. And when that was done, by the way, Philly was just like, that was it. You came in, you F5 Lashley, you F5 Theory. Now, I'm a Brock Lesnar fan, all right? Straight up. That might not sit well with people, I understand. But I'm going to say this right now. And I said this about Rousey. I'm a Rousey fan, but WWE has butchered Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey is so irrelevant. As a Ronda fan, it is sad and tragic. Brock Lesnar, guys, that mystique, that aura when his music used to hit and I used to see him, last night I realized something. I don't get that anymore. And after what he did last night, I felt it dropped off even more, that prestige. The way they're using Brock Lesnar, and it's so sporadic, and I understand his contract, but they have to do something different. Brock Lesnar is no longer even feeling special, and that's the only thing he had going for him with the contract that he signed. He shows up whenever he wants, whoever they want him with, because it's special. It's a special attraction. But what happens, unit, when the special attraction is no longer a special attraction? BC started to feel something about his boy Brock Lesnar last night. It was not good. And who the fuck needs to see Brock and Bobby again? Unit, I don't even recall when it was, because it was that fucking non-purposeful for BC. When did they last just take on each other? It feels like we just saw Brock and Bobby Lashley. When was the last time they just faced each other? I'm on a delay on the chat, by the way, but if somebody can tell me when we just saw that. Crown Jewel. When was that, guys? Well, fuck. Seriously? November? Are you serious? All right, so we just saw this in November. Well, what the fuck are we in? We're in January. It's only 2 months. Not even. What the fuck are we seeing this again for, man? This guy has been away since then. Brock Lesnar, and he came back. Like, why would this guy be transfixed on the U.S. champion? Doesn't make sense. So I'm hoping they make it make sense. Is this to set up another Saudi match in the future? Is this just for an epic stare down in the Rumble? I hope this is not a Mania match, or you better put one of the best stories we've seen in the last 30 fucking years if this is going to be a match we got to wait for Mania for, guys. Yeah, Keyshawn, Bobby has been fiending for him versus Brock at Mania. I totally get it, Keyshawn. And if done correctly, it would have been okay. But they botched it. They brought it at Crown Jewel. Wasn't even that great of a storyline either, if even. So now we're going to do it again? In 2 months, fucking throw him in the Mania. Again, if you don't have something planned storyline-wise that gets us at the edge of our seat, fuck this feud. And as a Brock Lesnar fan, and as somebody who wants to see the best for Bobby Lashley, this fell flat. You mix in the timing issues and the timing botch by World Wrestling Entertainment, and this fell flat not just for Philly. This fell flat for BC, and I'm sure many of the unit. Yeah, Eli, and that's another thing. You know that if they're going to do this, you know that the Hurt Business is now going to get back together. I was a fan of the Hurt Business. I totally get everybody that is fiending to see the fucking Hurt Business get back together, but I urge you to think about this, guys. Are we going to get a shell of the Hurt Business yet again? Or just exactly what they became? By the way, 200 on the fucking ups. We were just at 150 before we started, so thank you guys, man. That's going to help the algorithm later. Let's get that to 250 plus. I really appreciate that, man. Because the algorithm kicks in after we go live. For some reason, the tube does not like to promote us as we're live. I don't know why. But thanks to you guys, you help out the algorithm. So I thank the 200 plus of you guys on those ups. Let's take that to 300 plus. But guys, what are we going to get for the Hurt Business? Is this honestly going to be every single time Bobby has a feud? Shelton is going to go one-on-one with the guy and lose. Cedric will go out there, have one-on-one. Then on the third week, we're going to get a handicap match, and Shelton and Cedric both lose. Some weeks, the Hurt Business is going to do a group beat down. Guys, that's what the Hurt Business turned into. And they never got to be put back on the right track. They just got dismantled after that. All I'm saying is, as much as I, too, was a fan of Hurt Business, you better not put them together unless they're going to feel and be like a real legit unit. You can even add Omos, man. He's not going to talk anyway. He's just going to be like the solo of the group. Little less talent, I understand. But the point is, you can add him in, but there's got to be different layers and dimensions. I don't want to just see the same storyline for every Bobby Lashley feud where we have to go through the whole Hurt Business to get to Bobby. I feel like I'm watching my boy MJF on Wednesday nights, where every single feud that MJF has, as much as I love MJF, the definition of a pro wrestler and checking off every box is MJF, Maxwell Jacob Freeman. Love the dude. But every feud is just, you got to go through all his cronies or all of his hoops and obstacles, and then you can get to him. At some point, it gets a little bit played out, unless you add layers to that story. So I'm with you guys, man, on the Hurt Business reunion, but fuck, if this is just to get to the same Hurt Business that we ended up off with the last time, this is not going to be fun. And this is just lazy, guys. This is just putting them together because they had nothing for Cedric. They had nothing for Shelton. They have nothing for Bob Lashley. So I'm confused. I'm befuddled just like Philly was when we went off the air last night. I don't understand this Brock Lesnar return. It was good to see him, I guess. I just don't understand it, guys. And is this just for the Hurt Business to get back? And then all of a sudden, this is just for Brock to tear through the Hurt Business to get to Lashley. They're going to set up Omos, and Omos will be a part of the Hurt Business with MVP and Bobby and all them. And it's going to set up Omos and Brock. I bet you that's the big Mania plan, guys. This is how Vince McMahon thinks. I'm not saying H doesn't have control of creative. I'm not going to play a part in that right now. That nobody knows right now, and we're all questioning everything. But knowing VKM, he could try to have an Omos Brock match. I guess if it's a Brock squash in 3 minutes, I'm okay with it. Maybe. Who knows? And that's how we went off the air. So that was Monday Night Raw, January 23rd, 2023. At that point, just 5 nights away. Because it was Monday night. This year's pay-per-view for the Rumble is on a Saturday night. 5 nights away. This was the go-home show. It was the 30th anniversary of Raw, and we got some pretty fucking awesome moments, man. One of the best storyline segments I've ever seen as a pro wrestling fan was actually last night. Sami Zayn, Bloodline, Roman Reigns. 25-minute promo segment, and it was just rock star status. The Bray Wyatt, the passing of the torch with The Undertaker whispering into the ear of Bray. We don't know if that was for a match at Saudi. I don't think it would be Mania, right? Or was that just literally, we'll never know what he said, and it was the passing of the torch to Bray Wyatt, but what a moment that was. The DX shit was just funny as fuck with Kurt Angle, man. And Teddy Long and all that shit. Just hilarious with Gunther. So of course, it had moments, and that's all I can ask for on these fucking shows, man. Give us moments, give us reasons to care, give us something that we can fucking really be intrigued with. Let's have fun, bro. And that's what Raw had a lot of last night. By the end of the show, it fell off, no question. They ran out of steam. Philly showed you that as well. But regardless, here we are. Now, Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we are fucking 96 hours away, man. Saturday night, the Royal Rumble. There's no room for error. There's no more fucking mulligans being passed off. It is go time because Saturday night begins WrestleMania season. The talk of The Rock not making it. It's going to be Stone Cold versus Roman somehow. Or will it be Cody or Sammy versus Roman? What are they doing with fucking Brock? What are they doing with Ripley and Charlotte and Bianca and Alexa? What are the Mania plans? Saturday night, it becomes a lot more clearer. BC hopes to be live with you guys Saturday night. Members only, I believe, is what we're going to do. Gold team. Chat, everybody can watch, but I think I'm going to do a gold members just so in case I got to fucking like interact a little bit more with a lot of questions. It's easier to do with my gold team. Narrows it down just a little bit more. Even though my gold team is running deep these days, man. But yeah, War Dog, no more room for bullshit. Saturday night, it's go time. I don't care if Vince McMahon is running this ship right now. I don't care if Triple H is. I don't care if it's fucking Hornswoggle. I care if Tony Khan from AEW is running Raw and SmackDown. It's go time. It's time to produce your best fucking shows. Last night showed signs of fucking life. We got a pulse on Monday Night Raw last night. I understand it's because they used the Blue Brand storylines. But it was a pulse nonetheless, man. And that was fucking Monday Night Raw. Salute, unit. That's the review. I appreciate every single one of you that stuck around for the entire hour plus. BC's going to stick around a little bit longer if you guys don't mind. Because we had some super chats that came in. So I want to make sure everybody gets a proper shout out. So if you guys want to stick around, BC's going to shoot the shit a little bit more. Talk some more pro wrestling. I just got to get my super chatters up on the bigger screen. 1 second, please. Here we go. All right. Godswilla, I don't know if you know this, but you were the last super chat last night during that stream. You're the first super chat in this stream, bro. How funny is that? Godswilla, 2-spot. I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of Brock and Bobby. Godswill, it's funny you say that because I just ended the review talking about the same mutual feeling, bro. And as a Brock Lesnar fan and as a dude that wants to see the best for Bobby Lashley, I'm absolutely over that. I was never for it because it wasn't done correctly. So now to have to rehash that shit, that's the best you got for Brock? Did you guys see Bobby too? After he got pinned by Theory, after he was F5, Theory on top of Lashley for the pin, Lashley just chucks Theory off of him. Like, he didn't even want to sell it afterwards. He's like, dude, get the fuck off me. I thought that was fucking hilarious. And I think Bobby apologized afterwards. You see him kind of tilt over and say something to Austin. I just thought that was funny. But Godswilla, no, you are not alone on that, bro. I think that's mutually fucking most of our general consensus and feeling. Jamal Straken's up in here with a double 5-spot. Couple of coffees by Jamal, $4.99. Jamal, always appreciated, man. Never needed, always appreciated. But it's just good seeing you up in here, Jamal. Jamal says, is it just me or does Raw not have any storylines? And that's why they had to bring the SmackDown talent over. Bliss and Bianca is an exception. Well, that's basically BC's general consensus, man. And Jamal, my cold open was totally dedicated to basically saying that. I loved our number one. But let's not fool ourselves. It's because they took the Blue Brand storylines, bro. The only 2 storylines that are fucking epic right now in all of pro wrestling. And they transplanted them into the Raw brand on hour 1 commercial free, and it worked. It captivated us, but I saw what they did too, Jamal. They know. The Red brand has 3 hours of no stories. No larger-than-life characters. It's sad. But they brought the Blue brand, and I hope what this did is it made everybody backstage realize that everything that BC said, even though we hoot, we holler, we yell, we seem angry and we're frustrated all the time, we're so negative, it's bullshit. We're just passionate and we want the best for what we love in pro wrestling. This is it, man. What you see with the Bloodline and Sami Zayn, this is everything I've ever preached on this channel. LA Knight, Bray Wyatt, all's BC and people like BC are asking for is to build up larger-than-life characters, put them in storylines that really captivate us, and then produce pay-per-view matches that we gladly will hand our money over, and then produce your bangers. That's all we ask. It's ass backwards. The shows have become non-existent with storylines and characters that we care about. And by the time we get to the pay-per-view, we're just seeing what? More good wrestling matches? That's not going to help pro wrestling. And I'm just glad, Jamal, that there's people like you that see that as well, Jamal. So, salute. And Jamal also says, seeing Bray and Taker makes me think of another feud between them, or the 3 faces of Foley versus the personalities of Bray. That would be so epic. I just don't know that Mick Foley can barely fucking walk these days, sadly. The mileage that he had put in this business has taken its toll. He was offered a spot, by the way. A lot of people wondering why Mick wasn't there. Is there more feuding between him and WWE? It's always something between Vince and Mick Foley. Mick said, no. They offered him a position, but he's been traveling a lot for other projects, and he just wanted to be with his wife and kids. He didn't want to travel to Philadelphia, which is not that far from where he lives, but he just wanted to turn it down. He probably knew he would be in some weird poker segment, so he said, fuck that shit. But Jamal, Mick can never go, I don't think, not with Bray. And as far as Undertaker, I think that was just passing the torch. But it did make me think of a badass match between them. But I think this was the passing of the torch, the whispering in the ear. We'll never know what was said. But I think it was that respect, and Bray was just like, damn. But it would be fucking hilarious if what he said was, I want your ass at Mania. Give me one more match. Or down the line, and they put it at Saudi Arabia to put asses in seats and sell fucking whatever they want to sell for Saudi Arabia. But wouldn't it be funny? Because the look on Bray was kind of like he was thinking about something what Undertaker just said. But there was that sign of respect as well, though. So, interesting, Jamal. Left a lot of questions, and maybe we never find out what they are, possibly. But still fucking badass. I'll tell you that much, man. Badass to see The Undertaker and Bray Wyatt together in that ring. Because that's something that you might never see again if they're not put into a fucking match. Yeah, Strict Tango up in the chat. I think Noelle had some concussions and she got fucked up. So her wrestling career got nullified, I believe. I'll do some more looking into that too, by the way. Ash Steggles. Oh, by the way, Noelle is Mick Foley's kid. Beautiful daughter that Mick Foley has. She was going to be a wrestler. And I don't think she realized just how hard it truly is. Watching your father in all those devastating matches is one thing. Doing this shit, different. She had some concussions. Whereas Simone Johnson, the daughter of The Rock, she just knew at a young age this is what she's going to do, and it doesn't matter what she has to do and how hard it is. She's going to make it through. Noelle was a little bit more like, no thanks. Ash Steggles, who had a fucking banger bomb last night. Ash Steggles kicked us off the right fucking way. Ash, I got to give you a salute on last night's Super Chat, man. That was, what a way to kick off the 30th anniversary here on the channel. Covering the 30th anniversary. Ash Steggles kicked us off big, and now 1799 says, let's start this party off with a mini banger bomb. Hour one of Raw, good, bad, and ugly. Hogan, bad because of technical issues. Trial of Sammy, great. Tag team title match, great. And LA Bray and Taker, great. Ash Steggles, if I was doing a good, bad, and the ugly, that would probably get greats, which is two goods. So I would say all of those greats would be confirmed by BC. And Hulk Hogan's technical issues, botched promo at the beginning to welcome everybody in Philly to the 30th anniversary. That was sad, man. That happened live while we were on the air, and I was just like, poor Hulk, he can't catch a break. You guys remember at Mania when he was hosting with Titus and that happened to him? Or he said something and he didn't realize, I don't know, he got booed and it was just bad, bro. Poor Hogan gets the technical issues, bro. Poor Hulk Hogan. Some say it's karma, right? All the years of holding down talent and now he's being fucked with. I don't know. Fucking Ash Steggles, I gotta agree, man. Those would be greats. Speaking of, this isn't just a regular review Saturday night if we go live. That's going to be a live good, the bad, and the ugly, bro. We do it like nobody else in this industry, in this community. That's going to be fun to do. Ash Steggles, I got to give you a proper salute. Ash Steggles has been fucking crushing it. Gold status and beyond. Derek Fleming Jr. won an in on banger, in quotes. Banger storylines like last night is what I want. No doubt, Derek Fleming Jr. The only time I want to ever hear the word banger is when it's an actual storyline. That's captivating us. That's a banger. That's what we should be seeing on our television show. Not more fucking matchups that are good wrestling with no fucking story. You want to see two fucking dudes in their singlets fucking lock up? Go watch a fucking amateur wrestling match at a local college. You want to see real competition and a real winner and a real loser? Go to fucking watch boxing or UFC. This is a fucking television show, man. The people that go, oh, there's a difference between pro wrestling and sports entertainment. No, there's not. What are you fucking talking about? It's the same fucking thing. Wrestling is sports entertainment. There's no difference. Don't change the formula. The formula. I've said it a million times. I'm going to say it a million more times. This is the formula for pro wrestling. Create larger-than-life characters on your television show. Create storylines we give a fuck about on your television show. Go to a pay-per-view once in a while on a television show to pop a rating because TV shows, they're trying to get the big network deals. I get it. So we're going to have more big matches on television. I get it. But you make us give a fuck about those matches through the storylines because we give a shit about the characters involved. Don't just throw match after match after match after match in there because there's gonna be a banger. Nobody gives a fuck. We're gonna chant while we're fucking there live. We're gonna say it was a banger on social, and then we're gonna look at the ratings and watch 300,000 people say check you. Because that's what happened Wednesday on Dynamite. Like it always does. Hundreds of thousands of people throughout the show say, check you, I'm out. Change that. Give us storylines. There's a reason on SmackDown it's a consistent line of viewership. It's because they attract people with the two biggest storylines in wrestling right now. It's the only two good wrestling storylines, but those are the ones. Guys, it's a fucking winning formula. Don't change it. Stop saying that pro wrestling is different than sports. And there's fans that carry their flags, right? The AEW flag bearers are like, we're pro wrestling. We have our pro wrestling shirts on. We're proper. We're wrestling. You guys are sports entertainment. Go over there, sports entertainers. Go get your gimmicks. What are you talking about, right? What are you talking about? You're the same fucking thing. You fell in love with pro wrestling when it was the same fucking thing, sports entertainment. How many bangers can you watch before you get fucking bored of this shit? There's no reason to care. Weird, man. Weird shit. There's a difference between pro wrestling and sports entertainment. Wrestling is when we get banger after banger after banger. And they have long wrestling contests. And they lock up and they do the sequences. And they flip and they dive and they have the near falls. Man, that really gets me hard. What are you talking about, bro? It's sports entertainment. There's a reason hundreds of thousands of people are leaving throughout the night. It's not working. Go back to the winning formula. Let's create larger-than-life stars. Let's create those storylines. You saw it with Sami and Roman in the Bloodline, with LA Knight and Bray Wyatt, Undertaker last night. Those are the winning formulas, man. Don't change the formula, guys. You're going to try to change wrestling, and then you're going to wonder why it's on live support. Bangers don't draw. Storylines do. Bangers don't draw. Larger-than-life characters do. If you're wondering why pro wrestling has been on life support for 10 years, it's because we forgot that philosophy. We put bangers first and foremost, and bangers don't bring in anybody. They even make BC tired as fuck of what I'm watching. Anyway, Derek Fleming Jr., can you tell I wholeheartedly agree? Derek Fleming Jr. backs up that coffee with another $1.99 coffee. He says Mark Briscoe versus Jay Lethal tomorrow. Oh, is that what they're doing on Dynamite? Hold on here. Let me see if that's let's see if that is what they're doing. Mark Briscoe versus Jay Lethal announced for AEW Dynamite. Okay. Wow, that's gonna be huge, man. That's my boys, man. That was my that's what drew me to ROH. People like the Briscoe brothers and Jay Lethal, in a nutshell. Well, that's gonna be huge. I won't be I won't be covering AEW. I won't be reviewing AEW. I am literally, what we seem to be doing these days is boycotting what we don't like, right? That's what we fucking do, and I always make fun of it. You know what? I'm going to join. If you can't beat them, join them. I'm going to fucking boycott TBS TNT for the foreseeable future. You blocked the Jay Briscoe tribute, and now I'm blocking you. I will not be tuning into Dynamite. I will have to watch Briscoe and Lethal somehow. I can't support that live, guys. I can't do it. I'm not going to support that network. But that's going to be pretty fucking big. Did the network get the message? Are they going to do a fucking tribute for Jay, maybe? Maybe this guy fucking got the message. Possibly. Maybe if he fucking apologizes to all of us, to Jay and his family, like Jay apologized when he was an idiot over 10 years ago, and nobody wanted to forgive him. Pisses me off, man. You know, if they do it correctly, man, maybe I'll go back to TNT and TBS. Maybe. But until fucking they apologize, no. I'm going to do what they did to Jay Briscoe. Even after this fucking guy got into a tragic accident and passed away, they refused to forgive him. Well, here's a little bit of your own medicine. I'll refuse to fucking forgive you. I won't fucking call your night of action. I won't call your fucking television shows. I won't watch your fucking channels. And I love the Christmas Story 24-hour marathon come fucking Thanksgiving and Christmas on those channels. But fuck you until you apologize. Derek Fleming Jr., thank you for that info, though. I mean, we'll have to catch that, man. That's going to be emotional for sure, and that's going to bump up their fucking rating for sure. Eric Newton, 5 spot. But BC will not be a part of that rating, I assure you. Eric Newton says Damage Control should be called Damaged Goods. Bayley deserves better, no doubt. You know, I love the beatdown they did last night. If you're going to do a beatdown, I mean, literally put Becky Lynch in shambles. But is it too little too late? I mean, they have put them in Io Shirai. Io Sky is one of my favorite female wrestlers of all time. And I have such respect for Dakota Kai. Bayley has been the best she's been since she turned heel before she got injured. And then she came back, and it just seems like they're just so lost with them. And that beatdown, while it felt so right, it felt so wrong because it might be too little too late. Eric Newton, no doubt, bro. RD, 5 spot. RD says, BC, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they say the Samoans were going to honor Roman? But then they changed it to Sammy's trial court. I guess phones didn't get answered back. Oh, yeah, RD. They changed it because most of the family couldn't make it last second. Like, some of them actually became under the weather. Some had some travel. And before you knew it, like half of who they were going to bring in actually couldn't make it. Some people thought it was because The Rock said he couldn't do Mania. But that doesn't look like that's the case. It looks like they literally just couldn't make... Half the family couldn't make it in last second. So a few days before, anyway, they said we couldn't make it in, so then they reversed it. But yeah, RD, it was originally supposed to be a huge family tribal segment for Roman. I'm glad they changed it because that was badass what we got last night. DGK Dog, $9.99, a couple of coffees. DGK Dog says they cut the cage match for time because the Bloodline segment ran too long. I wish they would have cut the Ric Flair, Charlotte, Bianca, and Sonya segment and that match instead. We didn't need that. You could be right, DJK Dog, and on top of that, that's probably why Brock Lesnar in his return got fucking cut short. In mid-sentence, Corey Graves got cut off, and we went into the next show. I'm guessing a lot of things got cut because of the Bloodline segment. I'm here for it. The cage match should have had the time if that's the case, and you can cut Bobby Lashley in theory because we've already seen it before. Have Lesnar show up, fuck shit up, and that's why that match didn't go 14, 15 minutes. That would have been more realistic. But yeah, it looks DGK Dog. It looks like they cut a lot of shit because of that Bloodline segment. But easily the best fucking segment on Raw in years. DGK Dog with a $4.99 coffee also says, just saw that Tony Khan announced on social, Mark Briscoe versus Jay Lethal for Dynamite. Warner Media has changed their policy on the Briscoes. Yeah, but it wasn't Mark anyway, DGK Dog. The fucking punishment was on Jay, and Mark was just fucking tagged along. So it's still bullshit that Jay didn't get a fucking ounce of love on TBS TNT. Now that he's gone, Mark can have a match. It still just doesn't sit well with BC. And I either want we deserve a real apology, because Jay Briscoe, his family deserves an apology. After he passes tragically, after years and years of apologizing for what he said years and years ago, and you don't forgive him even after a tragic accident. So either they apologize or they literally pay their respects to Jay tomorrow night. It might be too little too late, but have a nice video package. Maybe you still do 10 bells. Who the fuck knows? But Jay deserved better. And now that he's gone, now Mark can be on the show. It doesn't sit well with BC. Jay deserved better, guys. Jay deserved better. Just deserves better. Sheriff Rivers, 6 spot. Success or failure if the show hits 1.8. Oh, Sheriff Rivers, the show has to hit 1.8. I mean, even before last week's big playoff game for the NFL, they were almost at a 1.5. Before that, they were almost at a 1.7. You have no competition at all. You've been marketing the 30th anniversary of Raw. You're 5 nights at that point from the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania season. I mean, guys, if they don't crack 2 million, it's a failure. But 1.8, that has to happen, guys. They were just at a 1.7 a few weeks ago. They were at a 1.7. I mean, you got to at least pick up 300,000 viewers, right? You got to crack 2 mil. My question is, do they hit 2.1? Can they catapult 2.2 from a 1.4 last week and get 800,000 viewers back? I mean, that would be pretty big in 1 week. But if you pull a 1.819, you don't even hit the 2 mil with everything I just mentioned. I don't think that's very successful, guys. That means you only brought in about 450,000 viewers. You would have to crack 2 mil, I would think, Sheriff Rivers. So 1.8, no, that's not success. 2 mil, that's bare minimum. Do they hit 2.122? That's the real question. Gotta see that. Ron C, 23, 199 says, I did notice my girl Charlotte didn't get that pop. Yeah, I told you, Ron C, 23, Charlotte fan there. But even Ron C noticed that even with Ric Flair, there was not that pop that she got in Tampa Bay. There was not that pop she got in Memphis. And that's because it's been a few weeks now. BC told you that's going to wear off. Right? They haven't seen you in many months. You know? So they're like, oh, wow, she's back. Now we're going to start seeing the same redundancy with Charlie. The same redundancy that made her turn heel and face 97 times. I don't want to see it. But this is what I mean, guys. If you don't have a plan that's going to captivate your audience with Charlie Flair, we're going to go right back into the fucking redundancy hole that we were in originally. And we're all going to play the same fucking Charlie Flair agenda game. And nobody wins this game. Charlie doesn't win. The WWE doesn't win. The fans don't win. Ron C23 with another 199 says, BC, you got the real facts all the time. Much respect. Ron C, I appreciate that, man. BC, you got real facts all the time. Much respect. Ron C, I appreciate those words. I try, man. I try. And when I get things wrong, we go over it. We see how right I was. But I always try to go with stats, numbers, statistics all the time, man. Metrics, reputable sources. I put several sources together and see who's fucking more right. I try, man, Ron C23, before I go live, before I cut a video. So I appreciate the that you took notice of that. Ron C23, always one of my favorites up in here, man. Much love and respect always. Strict Tango, 2 spot. Did you hear Money's NJPW deal includes 3 matches? I did not hear that, Strict Tango. Mercedes Monet, I just hope that a lot of people give her a real chance here. She has big aspirations, and I feel a lot of people are like, all right, she's not with WWE anymore. She doesn't matter. I'm hoping that these 3 matches, Strict Tango, can make everybody tune in, right? I don't know if it's going to be on the same level or scale that like Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks were able to do, right? Turn all of the American heads and tune into Japan because these motherfuckers are tearing it up. I've said it a million times. Young Bucks and Kenny Omega in AEW are a shell of themselves. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks in New Japan, fucking superstars. AEW, they're just spokes on the wheel, man. And I think their title of EVPs ruined them. They didn't know how to book themselves. Cody Rhodes, same thing. Cody knew that it hindered him. So, Strict Tango, man. Yeah, I'll be keeping out anything that Monet does. Sasha Banks, BC will be absolutely tuning in for it. Where'd we leave off? Brianna's up in here. Brianna, salute. Brianna with a 5 spot says, I believe The Undertaker coming out as the American badass was symbolic of him giving up the darkness and allowing Bray to go with it. Pass the torch. No doubt, Brianna. I really think that's, yeah, I just feel it was more than like a Saudi or WrestleMania match that they were planting. I feel like it was just a passing of the torch. And you bring up a great point, you know. The darkness is now with him. It's now with Bray to rock on. The true passing of the torch. Brianna, great point. And Jer9 Gaming, I don't know if you're still up in here, bro, but you brought up such an awesome point last night, man. Austin versus LA Knight is the way to go. If you don't get The Rock, it's either Cody or Sammy or both. Night 1 of WrestleMania, night 2, you can do Sammy and Cody. But Stone Cold should not be taking on Roman just because you can't get The Rock. Doesn't make any fucking sense. Jer9, you brought a great point last night. LA Knight versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. What? The promos, bro. Just put him in the ring and let him go. Let him go. Yes, Jer9. Austin LA promos alone would be epic, no doubt. So, Jer9, I wanted to just mention that. You brought that up last night, but that stuck with BC because I was thinking, like, who do you put Austin with? And I drew a blank, man. And I thought about this a half an hour before we went live last night. Leave it to Jer9 to throw that out there. And I was just like, yeah. Like, why did I not think of that, bro? Even if Austin loses, man, everybody would throw a fit. Austin can't lose that. If done correctly, relax, man. Yes, he can. There's nothing wrong with passing a torch to a younger dude who's got the world ahead of him. Relax. Austin doesn't have to win, guys. It's not the end of the world if you do it correctly. And what should be happening is Bray has to beat LA Knight at the Rumble. Bray Wyatt cannot lose that, or you guys are going to get another one of those videos like I cut after Super Showdown. You guys remember when Goldberg beat fucking Bray, and you guys tell me that's one of your favorite videos I ever cut. I was in fucking New England in a car, cold as fuck. I was miserable. I was pissed off that Bray just got done filthy. And you guys tell me that was one of my favorites. Well, guess what? We gonna re-up that bitch. If Bray loses that Rumble, that cannot happen. And then you just pay it back. LA Knight can then defeat maybe Austin, if done correctly. Eddie, yeah, versus what? A lot of LA Knight's character, and he'll admit this, I'm sure. A lot of it is a big percentage of The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. You can tell the mannerisms, you can tell his promos, the way he walks. And that's okay. It's not copying. Sometimes you could take a little bit of them and help your vehicle a little bit. You know what I mean? Pay that respect to those that came before you. Yeah. Kevin, gold status. Kevin MD in the chat. That wouldn't be 2.0, bro. Bray loses on Saturday. Actually, we're going to be live, guys. That's not going to be a video. I'm hoping to do that live. A Good, the Bad, and the Ugly Royal Rumble edition. If Bray Wyatt loses, we're going Amplified 3.0. Fuck that shit. You ain't seen as many uglies as I can put up on the fucking board. Brianna, you started a good conversation with that. Good thought process there, man. Clutch City fan with a coffee as well. 5 spot. Clutch City. What up, dude? Get a drink of water too, man. Let me finish this off. Let me bust open my Fiji if you don't mind. Salute. Yes, I'm a water snob. If you lived in New York City long enough, you know, man. You gotta watch your water, man. I remember my first month I ever moved, my first fucking week I moved to New York City. You gotta fucking let the water run. Sometimes that shit's gonna be brown, bro. New York City, you don't fuck around. You gotta let the water run a little bit before you shower, before you fucking cook a fucking bowl of pasta. So, BC learn, man. I like to bottle up my shit. My New Yorkers know what I'm talking about. You get home from a long day, you want to take a shower, your fucking water's brown, man. You're like, what the fuck? Fuck is this shit? Fuck out of here. Anyway, Clutch City fan, 5 spot. My New Yorkers know. Clutch City fan says, I just saw some pictures of Big E with the New Day, and Big E looks like he's ready to come back. If he's able to come back, that would be a miracle. Clutch City fan, it would be actually, and I'll tell you why. Because where his injury occurred, near that C1, and they chose not to do surgery. Usually, sadly, the statistics say that you don't rehab correctly. You don't heal correctly. So I guess what I'm trying to say, a little bit more cleaner for you guys, is that you don't heal properly more times than you do with that type of injury without surgery. And they chose not to go with surgery because Big E is a healthy young dude, muscular. They thought maybe they could pull this off. But what happened was there was some issues. So they had to go back to the drawing board. So he's looking really good. I saw some photos too. They're going on a huge promotional tour together. It's so good to see Big E back with the New Day, man. Back with Kofi, back with Xavier, by the way. Big salute to Big E, man. Salute. Because that would be such an awesome miracle if he was able to compete again. But him just walking, him being able to do what he's doing already, that's a miracle, Clutch City fan. Because when that injury happened, and I heard what it was, and I have a lot of doctor friends, from surgical doctors to PTs, I have a lot of good friends, close people that are doctors, and they said, that's not good. He's probably not coming back. Or it's a situation where it's like a Stone Cold, Bryan Danielson, Paige, where it's going to be years because they're told you can't come back. And then they try to come back for one more run. Edge is a prime example. But this is even worse because of where it was, the severity of that issue. So I don't know. I don't know if we're ever going to get Big E back in a wrestling ring. I got to be honest with you guys. I wouldn't even fucking think about that. Just be happy that he is walking. Who was that? Clutch City fan. But yeah, but to say it's a miracle if we ever see him in the ring competing, yeah, it would be. It would be not like walk on water miracle, right? But it would be a wrestling miracle, no doubt, that all of us would just be fucking just in awe of. Clutch City fan, no question. And when I saw those photos, it was so cool to see him back, like just doing promotional work for WWE again, traveling with them. Just an awesome ride, man, that he can be back on. Just him being back on like any schedule too has got to make him feel so better. You know, you're coming from the WWE schedule, you get injured, and before you know it, you're just at home, just you, your dog, watching what you used to be involved with. To my super chatters, man, Godswilla, Jamal Straken, Ash Steggles, Derek Fleming Jr., Eric Newton, RD, DGK Dog, Sheriff Rivers, Ron C23, Strict Tango, Brianna, and Clutch City fan. Appreciate the coffees, guys. Never needed, always appreciated. Let me go over to a bigger screen as well. Let me go over. I want to see my gold members. And, oh shit, 250 on the up, 275, man. We're going toward 300 on the ups. I appreciate that, guys. As I said, the tube does not promote the live stream or the channel while we're live. I don't know why that is. They only promote this stream after we're live. And that's why thousands of people then get a fucking Hundreds get a notification. Thousands are able to find this in their fucking recommended section. I don't know why that is. But you guys smashing that up live helps the audience that's about to come in post live. So even though they don't catch BC live, they still are able to catch the stream at least. So that's because of you guys really doing BC a solid and getting those ups, man. And we're about to hit 300 on that live. That really, really helps. So I appreciate that big time, man. Guys, to my entire red team, go! My entire unit in the chat, man. All of you guys. There's still a few hundred still live through the super chat conversation. Thank you so much. It's been a great 2 hours almost. Time flies when you're having fun, man. It doesn't even feel like 2 hours to BC. I'm just talking about what I love with people that I love fucking talking about this with, and that's my amplified unit. So I appreciate every single one of you guys, man. Red team go, always. To my gold team, to all my green names up there with the gold card after that name. Thank you, Marie. Marie, much love. I see those calls. I appreciate that. Sir Charles, thank you. To my gold members, my channel members, I hope to do something special Saturday night. I hope to go live with the Rumble. Members only. Everybody can tune in. Red team, of course. Everybody, please. But I might have to go to the chat a lot for conversational purposes. So I kind of need to narrow it a little bit. I think my gold team would be perfect for that. So I would like to do a live Good, the Bad, and the Ugly Royal Rumble edition Saturday night. We'll see if I'm able to do that. If not, you guys are going to get a banger of a review the next day anyway. So thank you guys big time. On the way out, that's going to conclude. That's it, guys. I appreciate it. Salute to all you guys, and we'll do this again in the near future. I am not going to review Dynamite because I do not want to give TBS or TNT the time of day. I am pissed off at them. They can fuck themselves for what they did to Jay Briscoe and his family. They're going to have a Mark Briscoe versus Jay Lethal match. I am going to have to somehow watch that. But I will not add to their fucking viewership. They'll get a pop off of this because of Jay Briscoe. It's funny, right? Not funny. It's tragic how they're going to get a pop off of Jay's name, but they won't even fucking bother to tribute this guy. I hope Mark takes business into his own hands. I hope Mark Briscoe says, fuck you to TNT. One hand to TNT, middle finger in the air, other middle finger to TBS. TNT, TBS, double salute to fucking Time Warner Media, Discovery, whatever the fuck they call themselves. Fuck off. I hope Mark Briscoe tears that shit up. And my boy Jay Lethal, there's no better match right there to do him honorable. And I hope that Warner Media apologizes, either outright apologizes or tributes Jay Briscoe the right fucking way. Only then will I tune back in the TBS TNT, I assure you. BC's getting more amped. I got to get 2 more coffees at the conclusion of this stream, guys. Let me go over to my fucking unit members, man. If you guys don't mind, I would like to do a roll call to my gold members, man. Gotta do this shit up. What's on that? That's it. On that. Guys, I just went off. You guys got me? I just went off the air for a few seconds. Are you guys still on? I want to do a roll call, but they just booted me. Can you guys still... Did I cut out to you guys or not? Because I just cut out for a few seconds. That was kind of odd. All right, well, you guys got me. I'm going to do my roll call if you don't mind. I just got to get my gold unit up on the bigger screen. Okay, yeah. All right, while I bust up another fucking mic. All right, let's hit that shit, man. Do it the right fucking way, man. Do that shit the right way. JR9 Gaming. Salute, brother. LA Knight Stone Cold. I didn't even think of it, JR9. Gold status. Carlos Ray. Jacqueline Robinson. Ash Sims, Godswilla, Jack Brewer, Sir Charles, Sadiqa Flowers, Anthony Bowley, Ray Foreman, Kim T, Jimmy J 145, Crimson Blue 82, Dante Jaron 23, A. Merrick, James Miller, Eric Leno, D. Corey, Saeed Parker, CJ White, PB Silly Pride, Deontay Thomas, Sam Byers, Ash Staggles, Richard Wade, DeMonte Mabree, DJ is a prodigy. Alicia Vrakovich, Batty Banks, Trina Scott, Patrick Charles, Pimp Jesus, Richie P, Janelle Layton, salute, Raymond Karan, Kevin Johnston, Sabres News Consolidated, Nessie Sunflower, Discovery Metal Legion, Osio Weidman, Dino, Santivia Major, Jared Kelly, Winbrook 11, James Shrimp Fajitas, G, aka True Life the God, WWE AEW Marvel fan, Kay Doherty, Christopher Blackshear, Renee G, Easy Does It, Network Guy Dave, Sheriff Rivers, D Stands Alone, Xavier 2882, Eric Decker, Jay, Dwayne Piazza, Quentin Gilbert, Cosmic Fool, Pile Driver Finisher, Savage 1024 The Punisher, Limitation X, Big Nang, Redhead Kingpin, Brand Q featuring Quincy, John Gray, Nathan Savay, Miguel, Rachel Rocca, Jay Khan, Mr. Big 200, Titan Poetic Chef, AWS Promotions, Peter Kakaro, Reese Monet, Ron C23, Mardo May, John Cena. T.J. Baines. Smokey. Eric Newton. Jamal Stragan. Gold team is deep in this bitch. Swift 718. Crimson. Ryan Robinson. Derek Davis. Lee Laws. That was a little Vince McMahon there, Lee Laws. Venus Soldier 92. Robert Hurt. Snake Venom. Silver Black 31. Jimmy Fingers 19. Hit that shit. Sterling Range. Cassandra Love. Ozzy Edwards. Soldierman 1984. Ooh, yeah, dig it. Clutch City Fan. Kevin MD. Taryn Dawn. Jane Donnelly. Buggy. Unique Butterfly. Willard Bayless. Nick Clark. Sean. Ray Hunt. And that's my gold team. Hot damn, bro. Shit, bro. Damn, unit. Let me get back over to my chat. Hey, my gold team. Fuck that shit. My whole red team, my entire unit. Put them up. We the ones. We the ones. They all, the rest of them, this community, they the twos. They know it. We the ones. I appreciate all you guys, man. Honestly, what a stream. This has been fun. Raw last night, for the most part, was fun. I'll take the first hour and a half. And now we're just 96 hours away from the Rumble, man. No matter what content you get this week, I hope to be live Saturday night, and we gonna rock this bitch. We gonna set this community ablaze the right way. We the ones, they the fucking twos. BC, top guy, I'm fucking out. Amp unit, let's crush the fucking day. Salute, I'm out. Check you. Salute, guys. Well, can't we blast that, man? Hope you guys don't mind if I fucking tune that up a little bit. We gotta put that up a little bit on our way out. We gotta do this the right way if we check it out. That sounds better. That sounds better. Put 'em up. Get 'em up. Check you.